Welcome back to the Bet Victor Top 6 show. I'm Terry Flewers. I'm joined by a brilliant panel of guests tonight, including Jess. Of course, happy birthday, Jess, for yesterday. KJ's here with us. Patrick back again. Liking the shirt, by the way, brother. Looking very, very good indeed. Repping the victors today. Nigeria, I see. David's in the house. And here is the... We're also joined by the spokesperson for Jurgen Klopp today in Louis from Give Me Sports. How is everyone?
Yo, Patrick, you need to take that off, fam. I've never seen you rep Nigeria in my life, my brother.
Super Eagles, baby. Super Eagles. We flying high. Let's go.
Last time I saw Patrick, he was singing God Save the Queen. Now he's saying Super Eagles. You know
I've never seen my guy represent Nigeria in my life. So
dual nationality, man. You know how it goes.
Absolutely. How did Mo Salah get on today, Louis? I heard he had an absolute stinker.
He played awfully. He was getting bullied. He got
shackled.
Bad, right?
He got shackled.
But
they
Egypt were treating him right like he was Andy Carroll. They were lumping balls up. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. I was watching it and I was like, just get this boy home ASAP so he remembers how to play proper football.
Stop it.
I'm surprised you didn't blame the balls, to be honest.
The balls, wasn't there like three flat balls?
I'm surprised you didn't blame AFCON for being in January, but hey, like
there were like five. Yeah, there were like 5 flat balls, and the ball boys had
Salah normally plays better with a thermal, which he obviously couldn't do in January in AFCON.
Excuses. He got shackled, man. That's all you need to know. Let's go.
No, he did. Baby. To be fair, Nigeria played really well. We should have 1-0 flattered Egypt. We should have battered.
We should have battered them.
We.
Mr.
Hogwarts from Mr. Hogwarts himself. We.
Hang on, you say that Egypt should have had a penalty. We should have had a penalty.
What do you mean we?
We.
Yo, you're all rolling like a gal, you know. You're rolling like a gal.
No. I was Senegalese yesterday with a bit of Ghanaian. With a bit of Ghanaian in there. When Mane and Keita play against each other, I'm gonna be proper dual nationality, half and half scarf. And I was Egyptian today.
You're Egyptian today. Wow. There we go. I haven't actually got around. I've not actually been able to watch any of the games yet. I've just been too busy working. When I saw the game was on, I was already streaming. That's one of the games I wanted to see, to be fair. Like, and I'm only really going to watch games where there's players playing that I kind of know. Like some of the nations, with respect, I don't know too much about them, so I'm not as intrigued. But definitely catch some of the games and everything else. Ali Usman here says, "Don't ever tell me Salah is better than Hazard again. I told you a long time ago Hazard turns up for his country. World Cup 2008. What are you saying about that, Louis? By the way, big up eye test. How you doing? He's Ali Usman. Ali Usman is eye test.
If you tell me, right, you stick Hazard in this Egyptian team, we'll see what he does. We'll see what this boy does. I don't really care, to be honest. I don't care.
I mean, right now, not very much. He'll just get stitched. Right now, if you played Eden Hazard, man, to get stitched.
He'll probably tear his hamstring walking onto the pitch or something.
The moves are on tour. There we go.
Oh, Jesus. Moves, you know. Jeez.
But look. Listen, I don't think it is unfair to criticize professional athletes for being overweight. It's not we're not talking about average Joe down the street body. Someone actually said to me once, you should never body shame anyone. I'm like, if a professional athlete isn't fit, you can criticize. That is their job, is to be fit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you hire a chef and he burns a toast, you can criticize him. If an athlete isn't fit, if not an athlete, you can criticize him straight up.
Tanguy on Ndombele still can't do 90 minutes. He's been at Tottenham for 3 years. Like, what's going on?
Wait, how long has it been?
3 years now, man. He was here with the Pochettino. It's crazy. Like,
but you can, when you look at him though, you can just, like he just looks like a normal working man. Most of us, right? You've got the little fat here, there's just fat cells on you. Like, it looks like a normal working man, not like an athlete. It's why
it's kind of like.
It's why Wayne Rooney's superior in quality, but it's why Wayne Rooney at 28 years of age, 29 was finished, because that man abused his body. He
was smoking. He was smoking like 60 a day, innit? Rooney was outside on holiday, just literally.
That.
It's mad.
And then you got like players like Luke Shaw who try to keep themselves fit, and then they're just thick. Like Luke Shaw's a thick boy, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care what anyone says to me. I guarantee you, Luke Shaw's diet in private is terrible. If I think if he ate like a monk, lived like a monk, lived that life, he'd be in better shape. He'd be in better shape. Like I've seen him with his shirt off, and for an athlete, I don't understand. It doesn't compute.
I'll play devil's advocate for 1 minute. Is it like Lukaku when he was at United, kind of said like, oh, like he was eating fine, but then when he went to Inter, there was like a change in his diet in terms of gluten or something along those lines. So it isn't always the diet in terms of what you actually put in your mouth.
But it's about finding what's right for you, and every human being can be different. Some people's bodies hold on to fat more, but there are ways. When you are a professional athlete paid $100,000 a week playing for one of the biggest sports institutes, you've got the ability to find the right people to give you that nutritional advice. Again, he isn't a builder on a building site earning minimum wage who's struggling with his weight. It's such a different argument. I don't kind of get why people like take offense for you criticizing footballers for being unfit. It's literally their job, mate. But speaking of unfit players, the first subject tonight, people, is a very contentious one. Of course, Liverpool Football Club were able to get their first leg semi-final of the Carabao Cup postponed. That was done. It was postponed. It was put on hold. And the game didn't go ahead. It then transpires that 10 of the players stroke staff reportedly out with CV. The tests were negative. They were false positives. So there has been a number of accusations in the last few days of Liverpool maybe falsifying, the process not quite being right, things along those lines. I wanted to get your take on this because there was talks yesterday via The Athletic of there being like an investigation into this today. That's been gazumped. There is going to be no investigation. But there are a lot of question marks. There are a lot of concerns and there are a lot of frustrations. And there is more outrage relating to Klopp and Liverpool from Arsenal fans, especially. Chelsea fans are annoyed because they were made to play. Like, Louis, what's your take on the outrage since the false positive news came out?
Oh, I just think it's just funny how everyone's now become some sort of Chris Whitty scientist man, knowing how CV works and understanding how kind of everything operates. Like, listen, if Liverpool say they had false positives, okay, they had false positives. Like, I get being skeptical because it's the cool and trendy thing to do. But to what end do we get, like, what do we gain by the postponement? No one has been able to tell me what Liverpool gain by getting the first leg postponed. The African players can't play. Someone said, oh, you can get all the players back that weren't going to play. I was like, well, if they didn't have CV, they wouldn't be out. So we don't get them back. They just would have played. I don't understand.
You get, sorry to interject, but you get, like, Virgil van Dijk just came back. He basically has an extra week or so to get match sharp and get fitter. The same with all the guys. So you definitely gain an advantage by pushing it back a week, definitely. And
Van Dijk was back on the 28th of December.
You also gained an advantage because Arsenal's form was like this. And
yeah, exactly. Like yeah. You definitely gain an advantage.
So Liverpool knew they would lose to Forest.
I
you also now get to play at home first.
Exactly.
Like,
that's a disadvantage. You want to play, so you want to go to Anfield for a second leg.
Let's not do this. You said that with Atletico Madrid and they came and sourced you up. Let's not. Come on.
That was Adrian tax.
Let's not do this.
But hang on. My point is, people are saying it's impossible to get 13 false positives. Admittedly, very, very unlikely. Man United had 9 in pre-season. Bath rugby team had 18 2 weeks ago. It happens. It's unlikely, but it happens. I just don't understand.
It's dodgy. Let's not dance around it. It's very, very dodgy. And you definitely were ducking Arsenal. I'm a Tottenham fan. I've got to call it. You were ducking Arsenal.
For what?
Arsenal were in great form, and you lot were ducking them. Let's just call a spade a spade.
So Liverpool thought, okay, we're going to duck Arsenal, let them lose to Nottingham Forest, and then we'll play them.
Yes. Arsenal had the momentum.
That is some 8D chess going on.
When you guys tried to get it like postponed, we had not lost to Nottingham Forest. Like, what are you talking about? We had not lost to them. No,
exactly. That's my point.
That's Louis' point. Like, Louis' point is like, how ridiculous. Oh, the tinfoil hats. Yes. Bring them back, David. Bring it back. The tinfoil hat is on. But no, his point is, if you really think Liverpool colluded with the team and the players and the management and ownership to fake these positives to get the Arsenal game called off, so therefore they can lose to Nottingham Forest, so they're in bad form when they come to Liverpool. I say yes, they did.
I know what you're trying to say is that Liverpool, why would they be afraid of Arsenal? You didn't want to play that many games in that short a period of time. Even one of your big Liverpool fan accounts had said during the Man City game that you guys have to play this team twice in a week. I know that we're not better than you, but we could do some damage. So I think it's a little bit dismissive, especially because you guys are brittle as hell. Hold on. You guys are brittle, and you guys have skeleton squad. So that's what I'm saying.
What I would say to it is this, right? For me, I was told a stat by a doctor, the likelihood of that many false positives, and it's something like 0.0000003%. I get your case and point around it happened with the rugby team and it happened with Man United. Still, there's something about it. There's still a gut feeling that something's weird about it. But let's just put that aside and say it was an anomaly and it happened. This isn't you and Grizz used the case of that article with Man United, and I said I just put a friendly and laugh because a Man United cancelling a friendly is very different from a semi-final being postponed.
No, I agree.
Your point around, but it proves that false positives happen is true. It may prove that, but that isn't why people are also angry, and it isn't why I'm angry. I'm not angry at Liverpool. I'm angry with the authorities. I'm angry with transparency because the Man United case is different, and actually what Grizz Khan has inadvertently done when you read the article is proven everybody's point around why this is slightly suspicious. Someone's done something suspicious because Man United fouled their lateral flows on late Thursday morning. By Friday morning, had the PCR test back that said they were false positives. They only cancelled the friendly because a friendly is not overtly important, and they closed training for a day, but were back by the next morning and fully trained on the Friday. A lot of your tests were reportedly done on Sunday and Monday, meaning you have all the time to get the PCR test back to prove it wasn't a false positive. Even if you miss one day's training after your game on the Sunday, it's a rest day for the majority of your first team squad anyway. So if the PCR tests were done, my question is, when were the PCR tests done? Because they would be what revealed false positives. That's all I want to know is, when were they done? How much time was there between? Let me just finish. How much time was there between finding out there were false positives and the game? Also, when were the PCR tests done and submitted to when the lateral flows were? I'm not suggesting you've done anything wrong. You may have followed all the procedures needed. But because we don't know the process, we don't know the protocols, we don't know what boxes need to be ticked, you are always going to create a conspiracy theory. So let's just paint a negative picture for Liverpool for a second. Let's say all your tests got done on the Sunday and Monday morning, but you didn't send your PCR tests off until Tuesday or Wednesday. No matter what they said, the game was going to be cancelled because no one is prepping, fans have got to travel. If it had all been done as quickly as Man United's in your friendly example, by Monday afternoon, you would have had the all clear to play. You could have trained Tuesday and Wednesday and gone ahead and done the game. The point is, and this isn't a dig at Liverpool, this is a dig at the authorities and people running it. No one knows. We're still none the wiser, really, from the authorities telling us whether the 13+1 rule is a combination of injuries, suspensions, and CV combined. Is it all CV cases? Because it's unfair to me. If a team's got injuries and 2 players suspended and then 1 person gets CV, they shouldn't be able to postpone a game. That's 1 person. My point is, they're so murky with the rules. This situation has been created. And the one thing I say about Liverpool fans that's bothered me in this is their reluctancy to have, and this is unlike Liverpool fans, are normally the most ardent supporters in the country for transparency and understanding the rules and wanting to stop, I'm not going to call it corruption, but there being foul play, is you guys don't even want the conversations to happen about this. There should be full transparency. I even think they should have to show that clubs have fulfilled the process. And I'll give you an example. Let's say Man United have another outbreak this week, but 5 of the players that are in that outbreak have been seen on their social media accounts going to nightclubs. We should not be able to pass the exemption for to have a game postponed, because none of these football players during this moment should be out mixing with people they don't know in public places with what they're paid. That the amount of money at stake here, the jobs at stake for people outside of the football clubs that rely on football, it's irresponsible of them to do it. Look what Aubameyang's done as he's gone off to AFCON, been seen at a party somewhere. Now he's been tested positive, misses the first game for his nation because he may not have got it from there, but he could have done. And I think there should be full transparency because fans have a right to know because of the amount of money we pump into this football game, especially the match-going fans, all the people that are from Liverpool that have probably booked train tickets, hotels, that have lost money now. Everybody should know whether or not their club has followed the procedures to the nth degree. My theory still holds out for me. I believe the EFL have looked at this and just said, Liverpool are really thin for one reason or another. It's going to make the game fairly uncompetitive. We want a competitive semi-final. Let's postpone it. That's what I think they've done.
So I agree with you.
The authorities for me.
So I agree with you in the sense that I think that if Liverpool, and because I am because of course because I'm a Liverpool fan and Klopp's my idol and I worship him every morning. But I don't think we've done anything wrong. But so I would be fully supportive of Liverpool. I don't know, Jurgen Klopp in his press conference tomorrow, kind of almost doing a timeline of events, explaining what has happened, kind of going, right, this is when we got these results. These are the players that tested positive. These are the players that then got the false positive results. And this is the day. I 100% agree with you that there should be transparency on such a big issue. I agree with you. But I think that where people are getting the wrong end of the stick for me is you're well within your rights to say that there should be more transparency. There should be more, I guess, communication between the fans, the clubs, and the authorities about what has gone on. But that doesn't mean Liverpool have cheated. People are saying Liverpool have cheated. Again, I understand what you're saying, that it might have been on the off chance that Arsenal would have been in worse form, or it might have been in the off chance that one of Arsenal's players couldn't play or whatever. Like, okay, cool, fine. Like, okay, like I don't really care about what you've got to say. Like, I don't see any cheating going on. I don't see any malpractice going on. I just see that something has happened, that they've got false positives, whether right or wrong, doesn't really matter. The games are going to be played in a timely fashion. Originally, it was, so we can get Salah and Mane back.
Louis,
but now Salah and Mane can't play in either leg.
Question for you, Lou. Question for you. Champions League semi-final, you're in the form of your life. You're about to go up against Bayern Munich that have got a few players out. You've heard they've got a little outbreak, and you're right, we're going to play them. And the first game is going to be away. We get to have the second leg at Anfield. And this Zane sack thing happens where there's sketchiness, there's huge false positives. It all feels a little bit convenient. And then they change the fixtures round. So you've got to play the first leg at home and the second leg away. I assume you and every single Liverpool fan is going to be absolutely 100% accepting of that and have nothing negative.
I'd be livid. But it doesn't mean they're cheating. If I was an Arsenal fan, I would be completely understanding of why Arsenal fans are angry, why they're annoyed, why they wanted to play Liverpool at the time they did. I get it. Liverpool are coming off successive draws, so actually 2 draws and a loss. Arsenal were coming off several wins. I 100% understand why Arsenal fans are angry, but to throw around the cheating, I think is unfounded. You're basically saying, you've cheated. What's your evidence? I haven't really got any evidence, but I kind of feel that you're cheating because of the limited information I have got.
I mean, it's not just fans. It's not just fans. It's other people are saying it as well. Like,
who's other people?
They were talking about doing an actual investigation. So it's not just us just over here rolling our necks talking about, oh my gosh, I can't believe Liverpool. Like, people are saying this. Like, stop acting like we're just making things up.
No.
It stinks.
It's all made up. It's all made
up. Don't lie.
There does need to be an investigation. There does. But it don't need to be on Liverpool, though. It needs to be on the EFL, FA, UEFA, Premier League, FIFA, all them man that run the football clubs and run the world football. Them man need to be investigated. Because
the guy that runs the EFL used to work for Liverpool. They were never getting investigated.
Yeah, but
who used to work for Liverpool?
If that's the case, then
let me find his name.
Why is that possible? Why is that allowed that he can head up all these different things?
David,
you know what I mean? If you want to scream corruption, you want to scream all these different theories that David, get your tinfoil hat back on. If you want to scream all about it, go and talk to the people that you want to think. I don't think Liverpool's done anything wrong. I just personally believe that the system is broken and they need to fix it. And then once they fix it,
it's going to be so fucking funny when we
spank
Arsenal tomorrow.
Okay, well, we're going to get onto that.
Go on, David. You had a question.
No, I was going to say, you can't lie. It's just a little bit fishy. That always when there's an anomaly, it just benefits Liverpool. Always. We
have had the Istanbul of CV cases.
Oh my God! Wow.
The way like your James Pierce guy came out and said that you guys were like had one leg and you guys are just barely keeping it alive. You had a bunch of false positives. Like, come on, you guys were nagging it.
One thing James said that made me laugh is it was the way it was. These are professional writers. They know how to write things to invoke emotion. Where he was like, "We only have like 3 players standing," like they were all ill. They obviously were ill because they didn't have it. So they were
not a coach, not an assistant, no players standing. Oh, it's like it's not war. Like,
run out of paracetamol. He's gone mad.
And this is why I'm saying the EFL should never have moved it. That might just play the game, bro.
To be fair,
it's former Liverpool CEO Rick Perry. He's your former CEO.
Wait, is he the head of
runs
the
EFL? Yeah. You were never getting investigated. It went across his desk and he threw it in the trash.
And this is why they need to get investigated, because I'm telling you, corruption happening in all these places.
Listen. Guys, I'm jumping into super chats. I've got to interject. We've got to get these up. Help me, it ain't easy without Klopp, Ball and Trent. This guy pretended to be Mohamed Salah. Salah was playing with duds. Egypt were terrible. So suddenly, world-class players can look worse with lesser quality around them. Suddenly, when you play for a worse team, you're allowed to not be as good as when you're surrounded by world-class talent, as if that wasn't already a thing in football. It's mad. Who knew? Don't ever tell me Salah. We'll hear that one.
No, we did this one. Ignore this guy.
Salah is a small team bully. Against small pathetic teams like Man United. He needs to perform better against big opponents like Nigeria. This was to the ITS. He says, Ali, you mean Hazard and Belgium bottled multiple competitions with their stacked squad. Hazard is a poor man Salah. This dude, this is Hazard. What has he done? Sorry, what you done for Ball, dude? Talk no action. I mean, my job isn't to do anything on the football because I'm not a football player, but I'm definitely fit to do my job physically. Absolute joke that Chelsea were forced to field under 23s whilst Liverpool get their fixture postponed. It plays to be the favourites of the FA. Arsenal and I don't know what it's meant to say.
Bad baby.
Bad baby.
No, bad Barbie.
Bad baby.
Delusion. Ducking a team that celebrated a respectable defeat. Make it make sense.
I forgot that.
That's great. That's actually funny. That's actually funny.
I said they came off the back of wins. They lost their fortress.
I saw a tweet yesterday, actually, that was sort of like, I can't remember what I'll have to find it because I can't do it any justice, but it was talking about there was something like you should really credit like Nottingham Forest so much because they have just beaten the only team this season that about Man City. I have to find it. It makes more sense if I don't read it out.
Oh, to that last super chat, Terry. Sorry.
Yeah.
KJ, you got what's your answer to this?
I've got 2. 1, okay, I'm good with mine. Thank you. You know what I mean? She's great. 2, I don't even know what you look like. So even if I was going to be tempted to say yes to have a second wife.
Well, so hang on. Username here is Nottingham Forest. The thing says M. I'm guessing that's Mark Goldbridge. It's a bit of banter. Relax, everyone. Apparently, we are scared of a team that played well to City against City. What they forgot to say is they lost that game. Are we going to talk about Leicester now?
Yeah, so basically Leicester played on Saturday and then asked to postpone the game, like had a full strength team, then asked to postpone the game immediately afterwards because of AFCON and injuries and CV, like
and
everyone's
this is exactly, and the reason it's not getting as much traction is because, with all due respect to Leicester, Liverpool are probably about 100 times bigger in terms of fan base and size and what they do impacting people. But the precedent that I said earlier remains the same. Until we understand, I don't think you should be able to cancel it for any other reason than X amount of players being out with it. Not that you hit a limit because all the others are away and injured. Build a bigger squad. Leeds cancelled the game against Liverpool. Stop hating crybabies. You haven't had your nappy changed. Moan, moan, moan. Conspiracy FC. Sweet mother, sweet mother, I'll never forget you. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Original bass. Man United had 9 false positives and closed their training ground in July. We went through this. This was very different because
preseason,
but it was also opened again within 24 hours, and that's why we need the transparency, Philip. But thank you. So Arsenal were up in arms because they wanted to play Liverpool's kids, but it's Liverpool who are scared.
Yeah, I mean, we're not as good as Liverpool. We need whatever little advantage we can get. Like, we know Liverpool are better than us.
You got Gabriel back. You got Gabriel back.
There we go. Guys, one sec. Big clubs like LFC postpone games when they want. These small clubs like Spurs and Arsenal are just salty as their clubs don't have the pull.
Spurs? Why is he talking about Spurs? What have we got to do with this?
Because you're chatting about it, I suppose. You drag yourself into it there. You drag yourself into it. But listen, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I want your thoughts and your feelings. What we want to talk about next on the show, we're going to be previewing the semi-finals later. We've got some big transfer talk to come. I just want to spend 5 minutes on Manchester United because they played last night. We didn't speak to any of you. Louis, why are Man United so bad? Why are Man United not getting better?
So, everything about the club right now, and for years, but especially right now, is just rotten. It's that old adage of like, what is it? A rotten apple ruins a whole bunch or something. I don't know. Whatever that phrase is. That basically, you've just got so many rotten apples at the club right now. Whether it's the Glazers, whether it's the fact, if we're being honest, Ralph Rangnick is in above his head, is over his head. He is in a job that is far too big for him, managing players that are far too big for him. Your team's not good enough. You've got the morale is just at an all-time low. For me, just everything that could be wrong with Man United right now is wrong. You haven't got any positives. I think the only positive with the club right now is Scott McTominay, because he's playing fine. That's literally it. That's the only. If I had to take a positive, it'd be like Scott McTominay looks fine. But like every game you play, you look awful. I think the issue for me is Ralph Rangnick wasn't the savior that you all thought he would be. There is listen, as a sporting director, he will be fantastic. As a director of football, he will be absolutely fantastic. His eye for talent is amazing, but he has never been someone that's tactically won games on a football pitch. He's never been someone that has been highly touted by top clubs. Top clubs have never gone in, and he isn't gone in for him. And he isn't also that kind of what I would call that Gus Hiddink manager that could come in, was kind of your safety blanket. It was like your break in case of emergency. He's just not that guy. So yeah, that morale's low. Just everything that could be going wrong with Man United right now is going wrong, and it is genuinely lovely to see.
How about yourself, David? Like, obviously, I'm not going to ask KJ because he did it. We went through our opinions on this last night. What do you think the problem is? Because some people are saying it's now the players that have been exposed. The players have never been good enough. It's actually all on the players. Of course, after 2 years of saying it's all the coaching and the management. Like, what do you put it down to? Why 5 games running have they barely been able to kick a ball?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's never 100% one way or the other way. I do think that Ralph is good at making bad teams good, but he's not good at making good teams great. And I think that's where the problem's lying with Manchester United. But he just he doesn't have the players to fit his system. Now, what has shocked me is that Ralph is a kind of person who you'd almost think would be able to change his system as well. Klopp hasn't, but Tuchel has, and they're both students of him. So you'd think that he'd be able to change his system to fit the players, but they haven't done that. So Fred's your best midfielder, probably. The thing is, there's no cohesion. There's just no cohesion. I just feel like it's Varane stops an attack, and he passes it, and then you're all just like, what do we do now? And it's like, oh, Ronaldo's up there, I'll launch it because he can jump in the air. That's what I almost feel like is going on, because it's just not working. And Rashford's gone like this. Martial was already like this. Sancho has come in for 5 minutes and he's like this. All your players just get worse. Wan-Bissaka this, Dalot this, and he's not even been at the club most of his time he's been there, but still he's on the same trajectory as everybody else. It's just a mess. It is a mess, but it's unfortunate.
I get what you're saying about Ragnick, but when has he shown that he's a manager that can tactically change? Because that's what I don't get.
Because he was three different systems while he was at RB Leipzig.
He played
I get it.
And he's playing a 4 here. So, he can change the system.
But people when he came in, people were like, "Big, all right, this guy."
Yeah, Louis, I have to interject there. I have to challenge you on one thing. When you actually go back and watch those shows again, forget some nameless, faceless Twitter person that you don't know. Go back and watch what everybody said on the terrace. Go back and watch the proper United fan channels. People were like, they're excited to see what he might do on the pitch. We all assumed that football would be a bit better than it is now. Where everybody was buzzing was about him going upstairs in 6 months' time. So people have really tried to conflate that you were buzzing about Ralph, but look how bad he is. Now, we were buzzing about what he could bring over the next 2.5 years. I don't necessarily think the football we're playing is bad because of the system. I think we've seen players don't want to work hard enough. There's a lot of infighting going on. Like, Patrick, do you see Man United turning this form around, though? Because the maddest thing is, Ralph Rangnick has the best win percentage for a manager in his first 7 games since before Sir Alex Ferguson. So even Fergie weren't as good in his first 7 games. He's actually so we're winning matches, but it's awful football. Do you see it getting any better?
Yeah, it has to. I mean, it can't get worse, can it? So it's like, I think, this day and age with Twitter and social media, we're so reactionary, aren't we? As soon as something happens, you're going nuts. People are going crazy, tweeting this, tweeting that, wanting to walk out at halftime, all of this nonsense. But yeah, it was bad yesterday. Aston Villa should have won that game. They were really unfortunate to go out. They were definitely the better team. But it's still early days. Ralph Rangnick's only been there 5 minutes. This team can definitely get better. They've got the capabilities. I was excited. I was one of those guys, Louis, that said I was excited to see Rangnick. Obviously, named as the Godfather. We know that he's 100% got the capabilities to, structure the team and let them play in his mold. But obviously, the players, like Terry said, the players have got to buy into it. Right now, I'm not sure if they are. We're hearing a lot of rumours inside that there's dressing room turmoil, there's cliques, there's camps, there's this and that. If the players don't buy into any system, no matter who the manager is, Klopp, Pochettino, Conte, it's never going to work. So, and it doesn't help as well when there's all these things. It's like the perfect storm. Rashford's form has dropped off a cliff right at the worst time. Bruno Fernandes as well isn't really doing much at the moment. No one's really talking about him, but he's not been great for a minute. Obviously, Ronaldo is Ronaldo, but he still doesn't look that great. Cavani's scoring in bunches, but again, it's not the Cavani that was as lethal last year. So there's a lot of stuff that's happened at the wrong time. Sancho coming in, he hasn't looked like the Sancho from last season. So there's a lot of stuff happening, but of course, they can change just like that. And I would still be scared to play Man United because that at any minute they can turn it on. So I wouldn't be too worried. Obviously, the longer it goes on, yeah. But Man United definitely have it in the bag to change it and pull it. KJ's looking at me crazy.
I see you, Patrick. I see what you're doing.
It is mad. And this is a crazy thing. Like, I still think Man United fans are focusing on key stage 1 levels, focusing on the players they don't like. And it's just, my brother's a Leyton Orient fan. He has no dog in the fight. He couldn't care less from who's doing well. And he just is like, he obviously watches our content. Watches the stuff we do, and he's like, I don't understand. He goes, United fans are the weirdest fan base out there. I'm like, why? And all you guys tend to do is like pit one player against another and argue over that. And he goes, it's like, but you're ignoring what the actual problem is by focusing on those things. It's sort of people just like, yes, it's all because of Rashford. I'm like, bro, everyone in this team is playing badly. It's not 1, 2, 3 guys. It's every single player. And I'm happy for Rashford to take. It's almost like last night started, we did the watch along. 20 minutes in, we played all right. And we were joking in the studio, but like, we're a lot better without Ronaldo, aren't we? The rest of the game, if Ronaldo was playing, last night would have been blamed on his lack of pressing and what he does. Yeah. We were exactly the same. And that's why I can't do this. It's one person's fault. Everyone's been bad and deserves criticism. But we've got to look at as to why there. But look, I thought we should have a quick chat on that. I know it's been kind of done to death over the last few days. I want to say thank you there to Strip there. who put in a massive donation to us of £50 in a super sticker. So a massive thank you for that donation. It means a great deal to the terrace. So thank you. We have another super chat here that says a lot of Man United fans are crybabies and expected Ralph to come in with a magic wand and all of a sudden we are good again. Lol, it will take time. Well, again, a lot of people, the people that generally thought that were like, they're the same people that said this same squad they're now saying is overrated. Pochettino would have won the league with last year. Remember that. Like, that's why I don't get involved in these debates, because these are the same man that said Poch was going to win the league with this. Actually, not this squad. This squad minus Varane, Sancho, and Ronaldo would have won the league last year with a better manager. There's only 3 YouTubers I know for a fact who definitely said it's more than just the manager. But I'm not going to name those 3 people because it'll be a bit of gloating. Do you know what I'm saying? But there we go. Breaking news as well. Chris Woods is about to join Newcastle from Burnley.
Top 10 striker. Top 10 striker.
Why? Why are you doing this to themselves, man? The man scored like four goals or something.
No. KJ, you take the piss, right? His goal scoring record, considering he's playing for Burnley, is seriously impressive.
Nah, KJ knows that's my guy.
No,
Chris
bro.
Wood and Dwight McNeil, bro.
Chris Wood would bang 25 goals if he was playing up front for PSG, 100%.
But I would score 25 goals after playing up front for PSG, bro. Like that's not a barometer. If they signed McNeil, I would have been like for it.
At least Burnley will get relegated now.
Yes, actually, he weren't scoring anyway, so it don't matter, fam. You know what I mean? They'll get relegated with or without my brother. So
that is who they've signed. And look, we're going to be previewing the semi-finals very soon on the show, people. So make sure you stay with us. Make sure the like buttons are hit. Get your app open, though, for Bet Victor. If you don't have it, get it downloaded now. If you're on a desktop, the links are in the description below. I want to speak about a few transfers. Look at the odds on them happening. The first one, and I want Patrick's opinion on this, is going to be Adama Traore. Now, he is linked with a move. He's linked with a big move. £20 million to Tottenham. Chelsea's name is now being mentioned as they are looking at him. They are talking to him. There is a potential hijack on the offering here. If we look at the quick odds here, you are odds on favourites right now, Tottenham, at 4-9 on to bring Ahmad into Tottenham before the 4th of February. Talk to me about, do you think he at right back is going to be what you need to secure this top 4?
It's such a tricky one because he is a player on his day who's unstoppable, and he definitely gives us a different dimension. Running at players, he scares the life or the death out of you. Like, I mean, when we played Wolves, he's a nightmare. He's a handful. Like, you can't stop him when he's in full force and obviously we're on his day. But I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. I'm 50-50. I know he'll give us something different. He's a beast, dribbling. He's great at doing that. His final ball still is questionable. A lot of people come back with that, but he's playing at Wolves and, there's not that great finishers. In a team with better finishers like Sonny and Kane and Lucas, he would be much better. But I don't know, man. It's as good as I think he is going forward and running at people. I wouldn't be that disheartened if we didn't get him. Like, it's one of them ones, Terry. I'm a bit like on the fence. You know what I mean? As long as we bring players in, if he's not on that list, then I'm not that bothered. But I do understand that going forward, he is very, very dangerous. But defensively at right back or right wing back, I'm not sure, man. If you've got someone...
Can I just ask, has there been a report that he would play right wing back, or is this like...
Well, Conte, they're saying... Yeah,
he's played right wing back for Wolves many times as well, so it's not like he's completely new to
No, I know. I'm saying, like, if he came in, do you think there's a possibility he could play?
Yeah, well, I saw that Conte would like him to play there, and also we love the fact that he could play as a forward if we're lacking in players like Sonny or Kane are out. We could also play in there. So obviously, I understand the versatility. He's a good player, and it's a weird one. I'll be for it, and I'd also be against it. It's one of them ones. I need to see him at a better team to understand. But it looks like we're going to be the guys that possibly take that gamble. So I don't know, man. But if he doesn't go Tottenham, I don't want to go on Chelsea. It's like that. I don't want to go into another. Because
I would love him at Chelsea because that would make their attack even more disjointed. Their attackers don't even know what to barely do with the ball in the final third. He didn't give it to Adama. Give them Adama Traore. Give them Adama Traore, please. I love the guy. The man's the best running back in the Premier League, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Could you imagine Adama Traore and Timo Werner in the strike force?
Oh boy,
the touches are going everywhere, and Lukaku up top touches.
Do you know what? It's one of those things for me though. Like if Conte really wants him, there's a part because of Conte's brilliance. There is a part of me that thinks I'm just going to give it a little bit of time to cook and see what kind of happens. Because if somebody would have said to you when he first went to Chelsea that he is going to turn Victor Moses into one of the best fullbacks in Europe for that year, you would have all said, "Shut up! You're smoking something." And he did. This is Antonio. You know, he's got a very good manager, so I'm intrigued to see how it would work, how it would look. I'm still not sure on the end product, of course, but it's an intriguing one to me. In terms of the odds, though, is it worth a? What about? I'm looking at this right. And look, Bet Victor are doing some transfers.
Where are Chelsea? Oh, they're low though, Tony. 25 to 1.
So yeah, one sec, bro. Yeah, so
sorry.
Yeah. Bet Victor are doing some transfer specials on their website and on their app over this month. There is a limit of £10 maximum bets that you can put on because things change so quickly in the transfer market. So they've been very responsible there. Chelsea are at 25 to 1, and I'm not saying Chelsea will pull it off, but the Dean Machine spoke about this today on the Done Deal show, and there's an outside chance that Chelsea could do it. They need a right back. They're actually looking at a right back more than they're looking at a left back right now, Chelsea.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
I think at 25 to 1, I think I might just stick like £2 on Chelsea signing him because
I'd want him at Chelsea. I would want him at Chelsea.
Really?
To play where? To play
wing back. Because quite simply, I want just a different option because I feel like one thing our attack really struggles with is that when there are those games when we just can't break teams down, he is that guy that will come on the field and just drag 3 people away. And suddenly he creates that extra bit of space. Not obviously like Hazard in a way, but not in the same way. Like David,
the only thing is though, he'll drag those 3 people away and then sky it across the other side of the pitch for throwing.
Nah, his end product's not that bad.
Oh no, it's not that bad.
No, it's that bad.
It's bad. This comes from a guy
I don't know.
I like him. I love seeing him play. He makes me laugh. He entertains me. That being said, I know man's all he's gonna do: step over, body fade, shift onto his right, and all he's gonna do is smack that ball as hard as he can. And it's all no husbands. It could be anything. It could be the perfect cross to Lukaku's head or all the way into Rose head. That's just the way it is.
It could be. What I would say though, when Jota went to Wolves, nobody thought he'd be this good. Went to Liverpool, nobody thought he'd be this good. There is some players sometimes up their game when they get surrounded by better quality. So I do hear what Jess and KJ are saying because like his end product is awful, but I'm just intrigued to see him at a better club with a better squad. And with Chelsea, that's just an intriguing one for me. But 20, I'll put the bet on there. Put £2 on it, 25 to 1. That's what we've done. The next player I want to take a look at is also linked with Tottenham today. There are reportedly some inquiries that have gone in. West Ham are still the favourites to get him. Jesse Lingardinho is linked with the move away. There, as you can see, West Ham are favourites. Newcastle second there at 3 to 1. Spurs at 4 to 1. It then goes up. Look at any French club, any German club, any Spanish club. So if you think you get good odds on that as an example. The next favourites in the Prem are Everton at 25 to 1. So again, I'm going to go to Patty on this. You were linked with him last year, and Jose wanted him. You didn't do it. Jesse Lingard to solve that creative midfield hole at Tottenham. Yes or no for you?
Yes. I don't think he'd be a creative player. He's not really that, but he's somebody who can pretty much do everything. He pops up. I was against it last year, like you said, when Jose was there. But what I saw him do at West Ham, he really surprised me. And I think he's a lot better than what a lot of people gave him credit for. And I'm kind of disappointed that he decided to stay at Man United and not get any minutes because he's too good to just be sitting in the reserves. He's not even getting on the bench. On the pitch on a lot of the games. So he's really good, man. And he's another option. Like David was saying with Traore for Chelsea. He's someone that could come in, score goals, assist. He's got a bit of everything. He kind of reminds me of a younger Dele Alli where, he pops into the box, scoring goals, popping up, making differences, like those moments in games that can drag you through. And he was pretty much one of the reasons why West Ham did that late charge last year and got into the European places. So yeah, for me, it's a yes. I like him. Good player.
What are you all saying? Could this be Joe Willock 2.0? That loan move?
Is it?
Yes.
I was going to say, is it loan? Is it a loan? Is it?
It's perm. It would be this time around. It would look to. It might be a loan, but there'll be an option or an obligation to buy. I think.
Well, to be fair, well, then what's the point of the obligation? Because he's out of contract in the summer.
Okay, well, I forgot about that. Yeah, so it's got, whatever happens, he's gone. Do you think it would be a good move for Tottenham? Do you think West Ham should go back in? What are we saying here?
Loan, yes. Permanent, no. Because I think permanent depends on the fee, right? Because if you can get him for free in 6 months, if you're paying anywhere more than 5-6 million, you're probably saying that's too much for someone that you can literally get for nothing in a few months. But I think, yeah, not creatively, but in terms of in that front line for Tottenham, I could see him playing like sort of if he wants to stick with the two up front and plays like Lingard behind Son and Kane, I could see that working well. But I think it's more likely he goes to West Ham, to be honest. I think that he knows the club well. He could settle in easily.
European football.
Yeah. For me, that makes sense.
Tottenham should really try to get him, though. Like, I think they're lacking a little bit of something, behind the strike force. And I don't think Lingard is necessarily like a creative player in terms of finding passes, but he's a good player and he can add goals to the team and shake it up. And so I think if I was Spurs, I'd be smart and try to get Lingard on loan, because that would also hurt West Ham, who is still in and around the top 4. And the last thing you really want is, I look at it from Arsenal's perspective as well, is them getting a good player that's going to add goals to their team at the back end of the season when things get tight. So I think he'd be a good fit at Spurs. I hear the whole like European football and all of that. I anticipate Spurs having some version of that next season anyway. Like if they were to get the loan and then go ahead and sign him on a free, like it, to me, that makes sense. And like for Lingard, this is his last little chance, He's like 28 or something. Like he's way older than I think.
He's 29.
Yeah, he's older than people think. And so I'm like, who would you rather play for? Maybe your last song and dance, boys or content,
Because it is his last contract and it is his last move. Why go somewhere, try and redevelop and rediscover yourself in this club where, again, it's in obscurity. You don't know where it's going to land. It's just as badly run as Man United. Why go into another environment like that with some unhappy players when you've got a team on the up? You've already been there. You already know the joy, and also you can get a bigger status playing for West Ham than you can for Spurs in terms of in that club. I think you're saying go to Spurs.
You're saying go to West Ham over Spurs.
Yes.
Yeah. I would go to West Ham.
Not as because the teams are better. I'm just saying for a personal career move.
I look at the other way, KJ. Sorry, bro. I look at the other way. West Ham will eventually, unless they take over yet. Has it happened?
Yeah, it's done. They've got the
okay. But I still look at it like once Declan Rice leaves, and he will leave, he will go, in my opinion. Once a couple of those guys go, and maybe Antonio's goals dry up a little bit, I think Spurs still have a better, over the next 3 to 4, 5 years, I think Spurs with Conte are going to have a better trajectory than West Ham. They are going to look, today Matt Law has said, again, reiterated that Spurs are looking at bringing in 2 or 3 major signings. They will look to go again in the summer. It would almost be frustrating. I feel like if he goes West Ham, in the next year or so, West Ham might be better. But I think he might look at it in 3 years' time when Spurs are back challenging Champions League or whatever else they're doing, and West Ham are back down in 8th or 9th. I think he might regret it.
But in 3 years' time, it depends what he wants. In 3 years' time, does he still want to be playing football? Then go West Ham, because there's no guarantee that he will stay the main guy for Spurs. If what is to report is to be true, if what is to be reported is to be true, anyway, and they're gonna get better players and better players. Jesse Lingard cannot guarantee getting the game time like that. So for his career, it is better. I personally think for his personal career,
I get that. But footballers don't think like that. Footballers don't think I'm going to go there. They go there to, I'm going to show him the main guy. Like he's going to go into Tottenham and show that they made a mistake not getting him last year. I think, look, we've all got a different view. I'm going to go with your bet though, KJ, on this. Where do you see him ending up this month?
This month, West Ham.
Going to go West Ham on there. We're going to stick a little £2.50 bet on him going to West Ham, as you can see there, ladies and gentlemen. Your links are in our description below, so go check that out. Remember, maximum £10 bet on the transfers that you can see there. That's locked in. That's done. Remember, we took a little punt on Traore to Chelsea at 25-1. Go and check that out. The next one, people, and probably like the biggest transfer at the moment that's circulating again and again and again. This news keeps coming up. But Dusan Vlahovic, I did see a report today from one of the biggest fraudsters on social. Jess actually retweeted him, that Nicholas guy, whatever his name is. Like, I don't think people realize that guy's like literally like he's
Nicholas Shera or Shera.
Yeah, he's not a real person. I've
never heard of him. I've heard of
him, but he's the only like journalist. You don't ever see any of his work or appearances anywhere. You never see him on TV. Not even in Portugal do they have him on TV. So I'm like,
is he like a catfish? Like, does he not have? Like, is he somebody completely different? Or
I don't know. I've never seen him. Like, you think about all the others. Like, even some of the guys you hear of, like you'll see their profile. They're Portuguese, Italian, whatever. You may not know them, but you look on their profile and they work for 3 or 4 TV companies. You can see their articles. You can see them on television talking.
Yeah.
This guy, I've just seen still. I swear he goes. The guy who runs that account goes on Instagram. No, not Instagram. LinkedIn, and just steals someone's pictures and like I just think he does. But Dusan Vlahovic, heavily linked to Arsenal, and I want to put the odds up straight away on this. They're pinned to the live comment section. Almost odds on. Evens almost. If you bet £10, you win it. It's almost 1-1. It's almost an even bet now for him to join Arsenal by the 4th of February. That has shrinked from last week when it was 3-1. It is now at evens that they go in and they go hard. It is spoken about that Arsenal Football Club are going to put together a mammoth bid totaling £150 million salary, agent fee, and of course the big whopping fee to Fiorentina. I want to speak to you all on this before we do the previews, and I want to go to Patrick first on this because he was heavily linked with Spurs, and now Arsenal might be in there and they may be taking him away from you.
Oh man, if Arsenal get him, Jesus, this is crazy because, like you said, he was heavily linked to us. His agent come out and said that he would like to play under Conte, play beside Kane, and obviously learn from Kane before Kane moves off or whatever's going on. And then Arsenal come out and they're showing real intent. I think he wants 300,000 a week, something crazy like that. And Arsenal haven't shirked or shied away from that, and it looks like they're serious. So if they get him, they really up their levels next year because he's a top striker. He's young. He's proved himself in Italy. Obviously, his ceiling is humongous. And that would show massive intent from Arsenal, man. Arsenal definitely look like they're going in the right direction. And obviously, shipping out Aubameyang and getting him in, they would have leveled up nicely. So it's scary. It's scary for everyone, not just Tottenham. If Arsenal get him, everyone should be scared of them.
I ain't worried, personally. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. And KJ knows this about me. I have very serious question marks over youth players, especially like forwards, because their numbers are very whoop, 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 whoop. They're just everywhere. And like his numbers right now don't look to me like an £80 million player. I think he is an improvement on Lacazette. Yes, I think that goes without question. But like I'm looking at his numbers, I look at his non-penalty expected goals. He doesn't even rank in the top 50 in the Serie A right now. Like not that he's a penalty merchant, but he takes a lot of penalties he takes Fiorentina's penalties. So obviously those boost his numbers. I think for what Arsenal could do with £80 million, I don't think going all in on Vlahovic is the right thing to do. But that's just me.
I kind of agree in terms of I think both Arsenal and Vlahovic should wait. I think they should wait. I think that Vlahovic is a good signing, but there's something about it that stinks. Like I've seen reports about the agent and Vlahovic not getting along. Something's happening there. Like so, something about this doesn't feel right. I don't know if for him as a player, continue on your development. You're still young, and in the summer you're gonna have a plethora of clubs wanting you, do you want to close your options now just because your name is in the lights right now, the money seems great, like in terms of career, again, is that something you want to do right now when you can patiently wait, play your football, again, further establish yourself as an elite goal scorer, and then you'll have all the clubs wanting you to play for their teams. And for Arsenal, 80 million pounds or around that price, I'm not too sure, but what, about 60 to 80 in January. Do you want to spread that around more than just go all in on one player in Jan? Do you want to do more assessments on him and your team about what kind of profile do you actually want to bring into the squad? I think both parties would actually be better of waiting than just going all heads, all in on it, because I feel like there might be something off at this moment in time.
Jess, I've got a question for you. We obviously spoke about this a lot on other shows, but the reports are you may offer him 300 grand a week. Is there a concern for you as an Arsenal fan or within the Arsenal fan base that amount of money could destabilize things at the club? If you compare it to what the other youngsters are earning and other players at the club, he essentially comes in and only Aubameyang would be on more. And I think Aubameyang would have to go for him to earn that. But could it destabilize the progression that you've all seen this season?
You mean just in terms of the financial aspects of things? Is that what you mean? Because I don't think it'll destabilize on the pitch. Like, I think it would just
talking about I'm talking about the pitch. Yeah, you don't think it will?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Because I think all in all, like this group of players, like I can't see how they would feel any type of way about a good striker coming in and getting us over the line into Europe next season, or even maybe Champions League. So in terms of destabilizing things, not really, because again, a lot of people thought we were going to fall apart when Aubameyang went down, and we haven't looked any different. And Lacazette knows what his place is. Like, if anything, he would be maybe a little bit upset, but like he's leaving at the end of the season. So I don't really see it destabilizing things. I do think that there's a lot of truth in what, KJ has said about like maybe waiting a little bit. And no, we can't actually spread it around because the midfield targets that we're looking at, we can't bring them in now. So there's no real spreading it around. Like, you have to pick and choose what you're going to do. And we've chosen to go with the striker because this is the only opportunity we're going to have to get him. Just like KJ said as well, like once we get to the summer, it's pretty much, we're not going to be able to get him. But like the amount of money that we're trying to spend is kind of like, I have real questions about Vlahovic. I think he's a quality player, but I think the PR around him this is Haaland light. Like, if you want something like Haaland, this is who you go for. And so it's a lot of PR. But when I look at his numbers and I look at kind of like what we need in a striker, I'm like, it feels a little bit like we're doing the most. But I kind of understand why we'd be doing this is because we want to make a statement. We want to let people know that we're just not like going to be buying players between that $20 and $30 million range. I don't know if this is the right way to go about it, but I do want Arsenal to make a statement, but I want it to be in the right way, and I'm not sure if that is this. I personally am not feeling like this is as straightforward as it should be. I know that there's going to be some like having to convince, but this feels messy as hell. So I'm like, but we'll see what happens.
I totally get that. And the one thing I would say, I've seen so much. I've seen a lot of him in the last few days. Been watching a lot of stuff using Scout. He looks excellent. I'm so intrigued by this transfer because of the openness of Arsenal, who are generally the most conscious of PR. Someone sent me a link earlier to an article of Man United when they were linked to the hottest property and the hottest striker in Serie A back in 2016. So what we're talking about like 7-8 years ago, and this guy was like 2021, and that's a player that everybody said was brilliant. Everybody said was going to kill it. Belotti. So there is still that one thing of sometimes the player can move too early. Maybe they're not quite. Maybe it is that one. Sometimes you get older. You know what, like Antonio's doing now at his age. He's having these good seasons. No one really is going to go and buy him. If Antonio was 21 and did what he's doing, everyone would want to buy him because they think, oh, he could get even better. Some players have that early. So it's definitely a risk if the commitment is so high, but it'll be an intriguing one. If I'm going to
Can I say one more thing, though?
Yep.
Just really quick, like maybe his agent is trying to protect him because you only really arrive in the Premier League one time, you know, and if he arrives and he bombs, that's like literally it. So people are looking at the agent as like this evil person, but he might want to just keep him in Serie A because he wants to go to Juventus because it's comfortable for a young player. So I'm thinking about that as well. I'm like, do I really want him to come and flop at Arsenal after we spend 80 million on him? Hell nah, you know. So there's a little bit of that as well.
He's going to go to Man City in the summer when they don't get Haaland.
Potentially.
That's why the PR around him being Haaland light is very smart because he'll be seen as the next best thing. Young, and you know what? He'll probably do well at City because I've got to be honest. If you don't do well at City playing up front, like there's something wrong with you. It's a very safe move.
Louis, I hear you, but I would say this: it all depends how quickly the Haaland deal gets done because football players are fairly sensitive about this. That Haaland deal could drag the whole summer because Haaland and his team are going to want the best deal possible, and everyone's going to be gazumping each other and everything else. I don't believe any report where it's like this team's 100% out, this team's his number one destination, because it changes every week. If Haaland takes all summer, another club has a chance with Vlahovic because he may sit there and be like, well, I don't want to wait until the deadline day to get my future sorted. If a good quality, it all depends on where the summer, it's easier to make decisions because you know where everybody is for the next year or so. You know, if like City are his number one choice, but City are chasing somebody else, and then I'm just going to, you know, Lukaku leaves Chelsea and Chelsea go in for him, he might decide, actually, I prefer Chelsea because Chelsea are a Champions League team. They want me now. I ain't waiting another. You know, there's so much that can happen with this if it goes. That's why I think Arsenal are going so hard now because they know come the summer it's going to be much harder. I think it's going to be much harder for them to get the deal done. But I'm going to have what we going to do bet wise, guys, on this before we go into the previews. What we said, where do we think he might go this month?
Is Valentina staying there? Is that an option?
That's not an option.
I think he'll stay. Yeah. I mean, if anything, if he leaves now in January, I think he'll end up at Arsenal because we're pretty much the only team seriously into him right now. So if it's January, it's us. Anything beyond that, like,
I'm with Jess.
But I think he stays. I think he stays in Fiorentina, though. If I'm honest.
Yeah. If any team this January is Arsenal, but it's going to be so hard for them to get him, man. So hard.
Just a quick one before we move on. Big money signings in general in the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Look at how they turn out. They don't turn out well, you know what I mean? So another pressure would be the price tag on him. Harry Maguire suffered with it, Pogba suffered with it. Loads of players. You can even argue Neymar suffered with it as well. And those are players. It's a weight to bear, and he's still a young kid. So yeah, man, it's gonna be difficult for him to make his decision. Like, he may want it now, but if his agent is trying to protect him, I'm sticking with the agent, man. Like, yo, relax, kiddo. Like, you'll have your time. Just take time.
Yeah.
I hear you on that completely. Viewers, what do you think and feel? Make sure that like button is being smashed. A few people have asked in the comment section, is the secret phrase still on? The secret phrase is always on every single day. I'll do you a little favor on this show. There's enough of you watching. If we hit 1,000 likes, I'll give you a massive clue. So it should be easy to get done. Hit that like and that share button. Up next on the show, we're previewing the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Patrick, we're starting with your boys. We're starting with Chelsea versus Tottenham. I know where David jumped off to. He's gone, so he ain't been back in his team. Chelsea left unrepresented on TFT. But. Can Tottenham do the unthinkable tomorrow night, come back from 2-0 down and make a final? Can it be done, Patty boy? Can it be done?
It can be done, but will it be done? That's the better question. I don't know, man. I want to back my team, but I've also got to be sensible here. We're 2-0 down. Yeah, we're at home. Okay, all right. I'll put it this way. If we get an early goal, if we get a goal within the first 15 minutes, it's game on. If we don't score first and come out thick and fast out the blocks, then probably not. Because you got to look at it this way. Chelsea are the current champions of Europe. They're a great team. Obviously, Tuchel is a great tactician, and he's probably the best in-game manager that we see in Europe. And he will adjust that team accordingly. So, yeah, man, we're 2-0 down. We've got to overturn a 2-goal deficit. That's going to be hard. It can be done. Will it be done? That's probably another better question. I don't know. I think we probably beat them 2-1 on the day, but obviously that's not enough to go through. So, oh man, it's going to be tough, man. I'm going to the game tomorrow, so obviously I'm excited. The Arsenal boys have been, getting at me in the group chat saying, "Oh, how can you be like so dejected? And why are you not backing your team?" I'm backing my team, but to overturn the 2-goal deficit is going to be tough, Terry. So, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I'm torn. I hope we can do it, but you got to be realistic as well, innit?
What are you saying, KJ? Is this going to be a Spursy moment? Will Tottenham be Spursy on Wednesday, or could this be Harry Kane's moment? A hat trick in the semi-final, dumping their bitter rivals Chelsea out. Like I'm because that's what they need. They need a performance from Harry Kane of that type of level to win this. Like, do you see that coming from Tottenham?
It's hard to be Spursy when they just did it last game. You know what I mean? Like, there's no more Spursy left.
There is. Like, 3-0 on the night. That's Spursy.
But how is it Spursy? Because they're not. They wouldn't bottle it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, they've already done the bottle. Like, now it's just like, for me, it's just a formality. I feel like there'll be a better performance, but it's not on. For me, it's not on Harry Kane. Yes, he's going to be a massive factor in terms of he needs the goals, he needs the play and the assist and all that. But what let them down the first game? The defense doing up foolishness. Like, all it would take is one lapse in their back line, and Chelsea get that one goal. And for me, once they get one, it's done.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, right, about it being a foolishness. But like the second goal Chelsea scored, that's not like foolishness for me. That's just like unlucky. Like it happens. He headed the ball and it bounced off his teammate. Like, that's not anyone doing anything wrong. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you got to hold your hands up and go like, what more could we have done in that situation?
Head the ball better away from the guy, bruv. Like,
nah, but they're like in the
there
moment,
are ways to mitigate foolishness.
To be fair, it was just a header, and you're right, the wrong place, the wrong time, boom. But we were shaky as hell. I mean, Tanganga.
No, you were shaky. I'm not saying you.
We
were
awful. Yeah, we didn't.
But no, like without Son, I cannot see you guys winning, and he's out for like a month. Kane,
you know what? Forget Son. Son's not been good for a minute, so let's all that. Like, I hear.
No, I get that. But if you're gonna do anything, it would be through him.
He's been a passenger for a while. So to be fair, I'd rather Brian Gill play and at least run at people and do something, because Son has literally been getting the ball and passing it backwards. He's not really been doing much.
Hill and Mora will be crucial, I think, if they play.
Yeah, they will play. They have to play.
I think what's important for Tottenham tomorrow night, and it's to actually not try and attack too much from the start. Don't leave yourself exposed. Don't almost start slowly in terms of exposing yourself. Try and score, attack, but don't overcommit, because if you do concede that early goal, it's just curtains. And I think that's the one thing I'd be concerned about as a Spurs fan is conceding that first goal. What you could do is a nice, ease yourself into the games, be very strong and resolute at the back. Don't concede anything. Try and score when you go forward and go from there. It's essentially you only have to score 2 goals in the 90 minutes to keep the tie alive. You don't have to go for 3 goals in that time period. I think it's the game management by Tottenham is going to be key. And that's more what worries me than the tactics and personnel, because I think this could be an eye-opener for Antonio Conte. And I do think fans play a part. The noise in that stadium, the excitement, and versus the anxiety. I always remember, take it away from Spurs for a minute, when Liverpool got beat 7-2 by Aston Villa. If there was fans, when it was 2-0 and they got a goal back, Villa would have lost, because Villa fans would have become nervous that Liverpool scored. Liverpool fans would have got their towels up. That mood would have entered the pitch. Because that wasn't there, look how many times Man United came from behind when they were losing away from home, because you didn't have that pressure put on you by the away fans. You could relax and play your game. And your supporters tomorrow night are going to be key. If things aren't going right, relax a little bit, keep encouraging your players that they need a little bit of that to get through this. So I'm intrigued by it. I just can't see Tottenham beating Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to start getting back onto a good run of form again. I think Chelsea are going to kind of start to go back to what we were seeing before that sort of blip of 4 or 5 weeks. They seem to be getting a lot of their problems behind them now and everything else. I just think the 2-goal deficit for Tottenham is going to be, if you do it, it's going to be one of the greatest nights in Tottenham's history. Not quite as good as Ajax, but still like a massive, massive night because you're playing one of the best teams in the world. Exactly. You're 2-0 down in a major semi-final. To do it, it's going to be a monumental. I can't say the word.
Yeah, monumental.
Indeed. What are you saying, Jess? Who do you fancy to win the tie now from this position? Who are you going with?
I went from Chelsea from the start, the last time that we predicted. So I don't remember who was here, but like a lot of people were saying Tottenham. And I was like, I think Chelsea have this. They're just doing their thing and they're hard to break down. And they look like they're going back up. And I don't think Spurs have a lot of goals in them. They do have like the 1 or 2 goals, but do they have 3 in them? And can they do that without giving up a couple? I'm not sure. So I think it's a little bit of get an early goal and then it gets a little bit like, oh, maybe. But I just see Chelsea just managing this to the final. That's really what I see. I think, like you said, 2-1, something like that, but still like Chelsea will go through. And it's because of the damage that was already done in that first leg.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. To overturn a 2-goal deficit. Also, like Jess is saying, score 3 goals and then not, keep a clean sheet or not concede anymore. It's a lot to do, man, in 90 minutes.
What? I get it. Do you know what, though? These are the semi-final games or knockout games I like, or 2 legs. I remember feeling exactly like you when Man United had to go away to Paris Saint-Germain after we got beat at home. It was just, there's no chance. And actually, in the end, like, football can do miraculous things at times. Take those early chances. When we look, though, at the correct score odds here, what's intriguing, 2-1 is 2-1 to Tottenham is 11-1. That is pretty good odds, That is pretty good odds.
Yeah, I think that's what will be the score, man. Unfortunately, we won't go through, but I think we'll do okay. Not like do okay, but at least claw a bit of pride back. Do you know what I mean? One of them ones.
I hear that.
Is Dyer back?
No, he's not. He's still out.
When is he back?
I don't know, man. I hope he's back for the weekend, obviously. Well, not for Sunday.
Is it
I hope he's back for Sunday.
Big game.
I don't know. They're not really saying.
Is he really your guys' best ball-playing center back? Is it?
No,
really
I'm just thinking for. I'm just thinking for FPL. They've got a double game week. I need to figure out whether he's back or whether I bring in Dyer.
Hey, bro, the game week started. There's a game today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh no! I missed it.
Yes, bro, it's finished, bro. Like the game, that literally is about to kick off in a minute. You got Brentford, Southampton, bro. It's peak for you.
Yeah.
There we go. Viewers, get in your score predictions, please, for this game. What do you think the score is going to be? If you want us to match your bet, put it in as a super chat, and we'll get that done. I'm gonna do the 2-1 bet that you said there. I think to Tottenham. I think that's a fair bet for the night. As you say, Patty, and I think Jess said the same thing as well. At 11-1, I'm gonna put a little £3.50 on that coming in as the 90-minute score. That's in 90 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, to finish 2-1 to Spurs. I'm seeing a few 2-1s to Chelsea coming in as well. What we seeing here? 2-1 to Chelsea, 3-0 Spurs is what up the Spurs has got. 3-0 to Spurs. Do you know what the odds are for that? 40-1. 40-1. Do you know what? That's a decent bet. If you fancy that up the Spurs, get Bet Victor downloaded, get it on your phone, get it on your desktop, stick a couple of pounds, and it's an evening out. Do you know what I mean? A couple of pounds, and it's an evening out. Make sure you gamble responsibly, and you do need to be, of course, over the age of 18.
Yeah, Louis, you're safe. You're safe, Louis.
Yes.
There we go. The other big game. Obviously, it's not the second. It's so annoying that it's not the second leg this week. We should be getting geared up for both games ending.
Can't believe Liverpool faked all of those tests and.
Thanks, Karen Klopp. Thanks.
Can't believe it. Ruined both legs being on the same day.
Same week. He did. You're absolutely right. It's atrocious. But Anfield, under the lights, Louis. Do you have any fears, any worries, any concerns that this Arsenal team could come and steal the show and take an advantage back to the Emirates?
Still the show, no. Make it a competitive game, yes. Their midfield will be like Liverpool when they don't win games is often because our midfield has let us down in terms of having control of the midfield. And I cannot see with Arsenal's injury problems, Xhaka being out and with Partey being out, that there is any chance
available.
Liverpool.
Sorry, do Arsenal have injury problems? I didn't hear this.
No, we don't. Well, we had precautionary.
Xhaka's not available.
Yeah, he is. I saw a report about it the other day.
I'm telling you, he's not available.
Why?
Because he tested positive.
Do you know when he tested? Do you know when he tested positive? Because he wasn't in training.
Yes.
Days
due to my
liaisons
with Public Health England when I was getting to the bottom of this Liverpool crisis. No, I'm telling you, Xhaka's out.
So sorry, Louis. Sorry,
I'm telling you, Xhaka's out.
Xhaka's available, so continue on with your statement.
Xhaka will not play. I tell you what, would you like a friendly little wager?
Do you want me to find the report for you? Like
No. Critically, Xhaka will not play. I'm telling you.
Let me find this report. Keep talking.
No, just before you find the report, yeah. You
have a bet with him. Have a bet with him.
Have a bet. £5 bet. Boom.
Let's go.
£5 bet.
£5 bet? What do you mean? I don't bet.
No. Actually, no, we're not doing £5. These are two very wealthy people. So I'm saying $100 or £100. Yeah,
where is this? Right. I tell you what.
Me and KJ are not going to expose what you told us, Louis, about your family, the money.
Here we go.
That middle class upbringing. Do you know what I mean?
The red tape. We don't talk about the red tape.
Exactly, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Or no, okay. How about this?
All I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, is Louis is so rich he wears red chinos. That's all I'm saying. Red chinos. You know what I mean? Yellow socks. One of them ones.
How about this, people? Whoever loses this arrangement, it's not a bet. It's a deal. Has to wear the opposition shirt next show.
Yeah, fine, done.
So I don't care about reports. It's if Xhaka is not in the squad or not on the first team.
No. I don't think he'll be in the squad.
Okay. So if he's on the bench or starts, you have to wear an Arsenal shirt on a stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Bro. Yeah.
And wait. And Jess, if he isn't in the squad at all, you have to wear a Liverpool shirt on next show.
Sure. Fair enough.
Hey,
It's locked. It's locked.
Okay. Back to the score.
Yeah, go on.
Liverpool.
Oh, shut up.
My days.
Shut up.
2-0, and happy. 2-0, happy days. I do have to say to you, I like how when you were mentioning Liverpool losing to Aston Villa 7-2, you used that game, not the Tottenham beating you 6-1 that happened on the same day. Couple of hours.
We know we're crap, bro.
KJ,
No. I heard it.
I'll tell you as to why, Louis. Because in that game, Manchester United didn't start to mount a comeback. We didn't go 1-0 down 2-0 and then go back to 2-1. There's a different circumstance. That reason I give is because in a real life scenario with fans, I think when you got that goal back to make it 2-1, I think the mood in the stadium would have turned. If Man United's game with Spurs went 1-0 to us, 2-1 to them, and then we got it back to 2-2, and then they beat us 6-2, I think the momentum of the fans could have brought Man United back into it. So, but it's about how the game went, bro. But sweet. Anyway.
Nice try.
I
Yeah.
saw that.
It's actually not a dig at Liverpool. It's actually talking about how powerful and potent your fans are. It's actually a compliment, and you turn it into a negative.
No. I heard it.
No. Honestly, loosen them.
Have we found the report? Have we found the report, Jess?
We're not doing the report. We're waiting to the game.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, wait to the game.
Anyway, let's carry on with what we're talking about. Jess, what's happening on Thursday night? How's it going to go?
The Liverpool fans are going to be all fired up because they're going to feel like, oh my gosh, people thought we were cheating. Oh my gosh. It's going to be one of those, so there we go. I was only really confident when I thought that they were going to have like all those positive cases that just happened to be like falsely positive. Now I'm thinking like, here we go. And like, even if you guys don't have Salah and Mane, the rest of the team is still really good, so It's going to be a difficult one. I know that we lost against Nottingham Forest, which was like, honestly, like I'm still feeling sick to my stomach about it, but I don't necessarily feel like that means like all of our good form is just like down the drain. It's one game after like 5 really good ones. So they need to put up a performance. Like that was their bad game. Like they need to get it together. So I think it's going to be a tough one. I still feel like we'll probably lose, but I think it'll be close, like 2-1, something like that. I don't think they're going to run rampant on us like they did the first time around. And when we go back to the Emirates, we'll see what happens. But with Xhaka and the team, you know, and Tomiyasu.
I'm doing my research now.
I mean, you looking like you sweating because Arteta, I know him very well. When he feels like he's playing games.
So Louis knows the public health ministers.
I know Arteta very well.
Cool.
I know Arteta very well. I know what he's talking about. But yeah, no, I think Jack will be in the team, but it's still going to be really, really difficult. Sambi was against Nottingham Forest, so he needs to get it together.
Yeah.
But if the rest of the team is the same as is our best team, then I think we'll be fine, you know. But it's still gonna be really difficult.
I want Charlie Patino to play. You know, I tackled him.
Oh, you want to play against Arteta? You want to play against Arsenal's kids? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Get an advantage.
I played against him once, right? And I tackled him.
Oh, is that your claim to fame? Oh, geez.
My claim to fame, yeah. And I went to school with Arteta.
I love how you're trying to like be really like, oh my gosh,
say you know
I want Patino, like he's so bad. He's probably a way better footballer than you. You probably played against him, and he probably.
You've never seen me play.
Louis,
You've never seen me
Louis,
play. I am a tempo.
I don't need to see you. I don't need to see you play. You sitting on this screen with me.
Louis, G. You also profess not to be rich, but you just said you went to school with Arteta's kids, like a millionaire footballer's kids are going to a bang average public school. Come on, G.
No, I was private. I was privately educated. It doesn't mean I'm rich.
You're definitely middle class then.
Now we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Don't be giving me that.
Wait, hold tight, Molly May, and that. You know what I'm saying?
While he's sitting in the bedroom of his parents' third house, we all have the same 24 hours. You know what I'm saying?
We do. All same.
Not everyone dads buy them houses and cars and everything else. Like me, Patty, and Cage. Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? We were lucky.
Yeah,
we were lucky. We got food.
We were in the trenches. We were in the trenches.
Speaking of lucky to be fed, we still, I was in the studio, back in the studio, so you still haven't touched your Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, whenever we're back, when I'm back, I'm coming to get my Ferrero Rocher.
I didn't. On the diet, that's why I didn't do it. I got told by someone I got to lose weight because they told me I'm looking like a big white marshmallow. So I was like, damn.
Who told you that?
Don't worry, I got told. I've been told, don't eat food. Drink your own piss, lose the weight. Like 100%.
Oh my word!
Plain Rivita for breakfast and lunch. That's me.
Man.
Do you know what I mean? But let's do some score predictions now, people. What you going with, KJ?
Klopp was shook. He was backing up. You know what I'm saying? Man was afraid. 2-1 to the Arsenal. Actually, no. 1-0 to the Arsenal. They're gonna shut up. Arteta masterclass and that cheeky little goal from Saka. Screw it. Yes.
Screw it.
Klopp was shook.
What you saying, Patty?
1-1 to Arsenal. I think people aren't giving Arsenal enough credit.
Wait, 1-1 to Arsenal.
1-1 to Arsenal.
1-1.
Hey, if it's 1-1, it's basically a win for us. Okay, no, he said it right. He said it right.
That's a typo or whatever you want to say, a mistake. But no, 1-1. I think Arsenal will knock Liverpool out. You know, over the 2 legs. I generally think Liverpool were ducking Arsenal, and I think Arsenal got the momentum right now. I know the Nottingham Forest game was a one-off, but yeah. 1-1, and then Arsenal will bang them at the Emirates.
Yeah, before we go to Louis, you Arsenal fans, listen, relax yourselves. People, we're the saying at Anfield, like fam, you acting like Burnley and them man there, then come to your gaff and get 1-0 wins, bruv.
No.
It's possible. It is possible.
I think it'll be a draw, man. I can't see Arsenal going to the Emirates and beating them, but I think they can leave there with something. Do you know what I mean?
I believe in Arsenal judge, man. You got us many times.
If we got a draw, I would celebrate it shamelessly. Like, I think Anfield is a really tough place to go, and Arteta really hasn't figured out how to beat Liverpool or be competitive. We never figured it out. Against Man City, we've had some close games, and we're able to beat them in the FA Cup. So I think it's going to be really tough because, you know, when Liverpool turn up the heat, it can get a little rough, you know, but I expect a reaction from the embarrassment of going out of that FA Cup early. Like, I'm still not over it. So I need them to respond. Arsenal, if you're hearing me, Saka, Martinelli, you were so bad. React.
Nah, Terry.
On a real level,
that needs to be taken away from you. That little sound.
on a real level, though, like it's such a big week for Arsenal. I really believe it, and I know Gooners will tell me I'm playing it up and I'm setting up some drama. I am setting up drama because football is drama. Get a good result against Liverpool tomorrow. Beat Tottenham. Go through to the final, and this season is starting to really, really cook. However, you could actually lose your next 3 games, and that it's not a wild prediction to say you could lose back-to-back to Liverpool or fail to win the games and lose to Tottenham on Saturday, which we'll, of course, preview later on in the week on the next episode of the Bet Victor Show. And suddenly you go through this run of like 5 games without winning, 5 losses maybe, 4 losses, 1 draw, whatever it may be. And suddenly the pressure will then start to really cook. I'm trying to be neutral here. I'm very excited about Arsenal's next few weeks. And Liverpool are not too dissimilar either. You could go out of this semi-final. You've got 2 or 3 tough, decent games in the Prem with none of your real attacking potency. Some of your best players missing, a slightly thinner squad. I'm very intrigued to see how Liverpool handle it because everybody has kind of said Liverpool season will end when AFCON starts. And I've never really had that train of thought. I've just sort of listened to it. So I'm really going to enjoy this next couple of weeks for both those clubs to see how they react. Do they fall into a top 4 race, Liverpool? Do Arsenal solidify themselves? Do they fall away? Who gets to the final? It's going to be an interesting next few weeks. Score prediction for Thursday, though. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Go for a 1-1 draw myself.
Against everyone. Everyone's got a result for Arsenal coming through. What you saying?
Yeah.
I just think it's cute. Like it's cute. You think that anything else is going to happen apart from a 3-0 Liverpool win?
3-0. Jeez.
Yeah.
Who's starting up top for you lot? Jota,
Salah.
Do you know what I think would be cute? I think if you wore like a bright baby blue onesie, Louis, you look very cute and cuddly. I think, cuddle. That'd be cute. I'll give you a big hug.
What, moving like Sully from Monsters Inc. and that?
Like with a little bunny tail thing on the back of something. Like my son's got one where when he puts a hood up, he's got little ears. I think you'd look lovely. You look like a big cuddly.
Terry, what are you trying to achieve?
Cuddling you.
What are you trying to achieve?
I'm trying
3-0 Liverpool. 3-0 Liverpool.
If you notice how his voice got deeper. 3-0 Liverpool. I'm man. Jesus.
3-0 Liverpool. Jota to score 2. Take that to the bank.
There we go. 3. Do you know what? I'm going to put 2 different bets on here. I'm going to put different bets on. So we're going to go with the correct score. I'm going to get it on the screen. I'm going to 3-0 that you've said is 22-1. I'm going to stick a couple of pounds on that, Louis. I'm going to back you, Louis. I don't know about your Jack, but I'm going to back the score prediction there. But I am also going to stick a little cheeky flutter on the 1-1 as well. I think we need to do that here, courtesy of our friends at Bet Victor. Remember, you can get the same app downloaded now on your phone for free. Set your account up. If you bet £5 today, you get £30 free bet. Go do it. And if you're already a member, I know lots of you are alone, lots of you use it. Go to their loyalty page and make sure you find out what you've got. Do it at the end of the show. All the links are below. I'm going to stick a little £2.50 on that result coming in as well. That is done. That is locked in. Terry Santa?
Yes.
What?
I was
Santa.
Santa.
He told me.
the kids last year. I didn't do it this year because I wasn't feeling very, very well. But I have a very good Santa's outfit actually that I dress up for the kids. My kids, no one else's kids, just mine in my house. Do you know what I mean? Don't go bowling down the street. A few neighbors last year were like, "Oh, do you want to come in and surprise our kids as well?" So, mate, do you know how drunk I was doing it in front of my kids, right? Doing it in front of someone else's, I can't be dealing with it. Like, I'm not. I should have hired myself out, shouldn't I? £100 an hour. You know what I mean? £100.
I want to see your bald head ass as a Santa man, my guy.
Don't go in with. You wear an hat, bro. Then I'm bald. He's got a wig. You know what I mean? I'm bald, and I won't be bald forever. Do you know what I mean?
All right, Turkey soon come, man. Let's go.
Didn't Louis say that Leicester City would be destroyed by Salah and Liverpool? This Liverpool team reminds me of the Chelsea team that relied on Hazard for success. The last time Arteta was at Anfield, man tried to fight Karen Klopp. Also, Louis, what did you think of yesterday's Slippy G chewing gum acting hard? He did. He was funny yesterday, weren't he?
Yeah.
He scored the goal and he sort of celebrated like this. He didn't want to. I know he probably wasn't scared, but he was very understated yesterday, wasn't he? But
when he was getting booed, he turned to the fans. Did you hear what he said in his post-match interview? They were like, "Oh, you got a very hostile reaction." He was like, "Nah, I've heard louder." Stevie G.
Yeah, man's saying that after the L, bruv. Like he's a hold that, bruv. You know, you see Mike feeling in the background. Mike feeling.
Taking the Arsenal model, that was a very respectable loss. They should be celebrating.
What against one of the worst teams in the league? That is a disgrace.
Yeah, no, respectable loss. Respectable loss.
The fact that like other fans are still talking about the Man City game, but we've stopped rent free. Like, let it go.
What would you talk
let
about?
Let it go.
You lost.
Let it go. Let it go.
That's not.
Like Elsa, whatever her name is on Frozen. You got to let it go. I'm sure you got the DVD there in your room.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, he probably has. That's definitely kid. But don't act like you haven't seen Frozen either, Jay. Don't act like you don't sit there watching that. I bet you got a dress and everything.
Let it go.
I love Disney. What's up?
You know, that's weird, right? I know, like, I'm not having a pop here at Americans. I remember, like, seeing, you know, when the
right before you have a pop at Americans.
No, I want to ask if you didn't know this, right? So, or if you've seen of this. So, when Harry and Meghan got married, I have like friends on my timeline from my like kickboxing days, American. And they were like, they were guys predominantly, and they were like putting up like pictures of like their mothers, sisters, nans during the royal wedding. And some of them did weird. And this was like people, two different families from different parts of America. All the women that were married put on their wedding dresses to watch the royal wedding and shit. And we're sitting there drinking. And I was like, that is mad. And they were like, no, they love it over here. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Although they were like, yeah, they don't think Meghan's good enough for Harry. Though. I was like, why? Like, it's kind of a madness. It's a madness. But yeah, they were like, but I remember they were getting really into it. And I was like, actual proper normal English people, not middle class people like Louis and above. The rest of us were like, wedding, innit, bruv? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was on the same day as the FA Cup final as well. It's like, I don't care about the wedding. It was the FA Cup final that day. That was far more, far more important. That's the only reason I remember the day was because I was with the boys and we were in the pubs before going to the game. Listen, everyone who has tuned in, do me a favor before you leave, hit that like button. We didn't hit the 1,000 likes, so you're not getting the clue for the secret phrase. We're back tomorrow. Transfer news in the morning. Jess and I are back for Straight Facts in the afternoon. And then the reaction to Chelsea, Tottenham. The only place to be is on the football terrace. So make sure you're here. We've got loads more coming up this week. More watch-alongs for you. North London Derby watch-along in the studio on Sunday as well. Got to try and get the peeps sorted out for that. I need a crazy fan from Eats, to be fair. I want some energy in that room. I need some energy in that room. Sorry?
Igal, yeah.
Igal and Alex. Oh.
He's in Dubai, right?
Do you know, I actually think as a couple on camera, Igal and Alex would be good. But actually, I think Igal and Eleanor would be funnier.
Oh, Jesus. Eleanor, she would be good entertainment.
Because Alex just says, oh, brother, bantered you, bruv, when he hasn't done any banter. Like, that would be a good We'll see. We might do
if you want the studio to be burned down, Igal and Eleanor is
yeah.
A lot of people are asking for it. I assume Alex will be at the game, though, as it's at home. So I will ask him, though. Listen, everybody that has tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every one of you. Get signed up to your Bet Victor account now that the show is finished. I'm Terry Flewis. Jess, thank you. KJ, Patty, Man like little Louis, all the way from GMS. David that had to go, he just randomly disappeared.
Training.
Went off training.
Yeah, football training.
Yeah.
No, American football training. My man can't
Oh,
play
American
football.
football training. Oh, wow.
American football training.
Oh.
It's the way he called it. It's the way he called it football as well.
Yeah, he said football.
What I say is, again, weak man's rugby, pads and helmets and all that. Soft country. Do you know what I'm saying? Listen, until it's a joke in the Americans, don't be.
You said you were making digs. You make a dig at least once about Americans.
America is literally the only country in the world, if you're English, you can have a pop out and nobody gets offended. So it's the only one I got. If I ever go to any other nation for anything that's funny about their country, I'll be cancelled. So America, you can say what you want. It's great.
Just let him have this, man.
We're just out here looking like a punching bag.
You're not American. You're a person. You're not a piece of land.
If I said something about England, do you know how upset you would be?
No.
You'd be like, because you're a proud Englishman.
Or she can't eat it. It's like,
I am proud. I can take a joke.
Full English.
That wasn't funny.
Beans, sausages, bacon.
Why do you always make out? Because of my paleness, why do you always make out like I walk around like Phil Mitchell on crack? Do you know what I mean? Oh, I like my food plain. Oh, I can't dance. You know what I mean?
I don't even know why I did that.
I like beer. Well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Does Jess even know who Phil Mitchell is, though? Do you know who Jess?
Do you want to show you who Phil Mitchell is? Let me find Phil Mitchell.
Yes.
Legend that is Phil.
The most famous character from our like biggest soap over here. Let me find a little picture. Eerie. This is a great picture. This is Phil Mitchell. You know what I mean?
He kind of looks like you, Terry. He kind of looks like you.
Oi, no, Terry, that's the wrong one. Show the one with the bottle. And that's what you look like right now with Man United, bro. That one is you right now.
It's funny. Like when me and my brother go out now, like we legitimately look like the Mitchell brothers. It's mad. Like when we go out, this is basically me supporting Manchester United. This is it. It's like you're drunk on the show.
That is it.
No. It's Terry.
You have a bottle?
You know what I mean? And he kind of talks like that. He's all right. That's how he is. Yeah, but it's just saying all white bald men look the same is so triggering.
No, we didn't say that.
This is meant to be my safe space. No, I did implied it. Remember, undertones and implication are as bad as the words themselves. That's what I've been taught by my
That is true.
It is true. Listen, until next time, people, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I don't believe in God, and I say that all the time. Anyway, take care.